Exciting weekend coming up. We feel like two of the best teams in the country playing here in our hometown, and we've had a good week of practice, and we're ready to get this started tomorrow, as long as it's nice and dry.
Again, Josie's here, got the microphone over here, and then Graham's got the microphone over here. We'll start with Steve in the middle.
Ethan, obviously a big day for you earlier this week, but how relieved are you to kind of get that behind you and do it to focus on Mississippi State baseball for a couple more weeks?
Right. I'll never say that I focus too much on it, but having that be over with and enjoying it for that night, and then really coming back out the next day and getting to work and having it all behind me is a big relief. Yeah.
Go to Brett here to the player's right.
Elijah, now having a day removed, how have you processed the shock of not being drafted? And is it something that's on your mind as a motivating factor from here on out?
Right. It's all behind me now, and all I know is God will take care of me. And so that's the way I'm going to look at it.
Any questions for the student athletes? We'll get a microphone to you. Please raise your hand. We'll go back to Steve.
Yeah, Elijah, you're a guy now a couple of weeks removed from being out of the lineup. How important is it to this lineup for you to be back in there? And what do you feel like if you bring as a teammate to the lineup when you're in the order?
Just staying positive, not even worrying about results or outcome, just continuing to push, my teammates and coaches, so to be the best we can, so we can go out there and perform to our best ability.
Go ahead and get it here to the front with Logan. Microphone's coming from behind.
Ethan, you've had a couple of days to prepare for Stanford now. Just what are you expecting to see from that lineup?
I'll say this a lot, but I have no idea. I'll look at their hitters tomorrow, and then if they have some glaring weaknesses, which I doubt they will since they're this far, then we may look to exploit those. But every week's about challenging myself to just pitch to my strengths, and then if they're doing something that doesn't work with, I'll just make adjustments off of that.
Any other questions for the student athletes? We'll go here to Tyler, front row to the left.
Ethan, you mentioned the other day that this is your last start here at Dudy Noble Field this season. Could very well be your last start ever at Dudy Noble Field. What's it like, kind of going into a start with that on your mind?
Right. The goal is to treat it like every other start. Obviously, it's been a long ride, and I've been here for so long, and was blessed with the opportunity to start last year and grow into a really good start this year, and having it be my last one, I mean, it'll be pretty emotional, but with that being said too, it'll make it that much more special and make me want to go out there and compete harder than I ever have.
Go to the back of the cameras with Tom in the white shirt.
Question for both the guys, but I'll start with Ethan. For both of you too, this Mississippi State baseball is the fourth straight super regional, and you guys have experienced that, but is it almost, do you feel like it's another baseball series? At this point, is there any feeling of hype toward the super regional? Like, have you guys been able to process the emotions of this weekend?
Right. I think there's hype every time we play a baseball game here, especially with a great opponent coming in. But like we were talking about earlier, I mean, we've played in front of it, thousands of times, not thousands, but what I'm saying, like all the time. And we know what to expect from it, and I think we feed off of it. So I know it's going to be a challenging environment, and I hope our fans show up and make it really loud.
I think that, having the fan base we do, it makes baseball very enjoyable. And so having, being able to come play in front of all those fans throughout the year, every year, it's just, like you said, I don't know about another game, because it's going to be a bigger environment, but, I mean, we're just going out there to have fun, and, seeing our fans out there is what makes us play better.
Any other questions for the student athletes before we let them go? All right, thanks, fellas. We'll see you this weekend.
There you go.
Who wants to lead off with questions for Coach? We'll start with Steve, and then we'll get it to Tyler.
Coach, your initial impressions of Stanford?
Every time I've looked up all year, I felt like we were in the top 5, and so were they. So it's a really good team. It's a West Coast team. 3 good starters, really good bullpen, and lineup-wise for them, it's a lot of power. So we're going to do a great job of making pitches. But it's it's like Mississippi State. It's just on the other coast. This is one of the top programs in college baseball, so it should be a great weekend to play.
Go ahead and get the JT Ginn question out of the way. How's he feeling, and is he available this week?
We still don't know. We're still following it. We're still rehabbing, doing everything that way. So right now we're Ethan game 1, Plumlee's game 2.
Okay, questions for Coach? We'll get the microphone to you. back to Steve.
Coach, how would you assess how Elijah has kind of handled the disappointment of not being selected, and what's he done to kind of get back to work?
That was as great as the 3 days of the draft for our program. For the most part, it's crushing when you see that with Elijah. Just as a coach, and I know for him, every kid that comes here, that's their goal, is to move on and play at the next level. So it was a tough first day, but the next day he came out, smile on his face like he always does. He has a lot of faith, so that keeps him moving forward. He had an unbelievable practice. We had a sim scrimmage yesterday, hit one totally out of the stadium, so it didn't look like it was bothering him. And I'm hoping he comes out and just plays the game, and not to prove a point, just to play the game and play it as hard as he can, like he's always done here.
We'll go to Brett to Coach's right on the front row.
Rowdy, his season, he kind of fought through it a little bit at the beginning, but now he's really got it turned on at the right time. He did a little bit of that last year. What do you see in his swing that is at its best right now, and why is he primed to hit the postseason?
He's not thinking about it, so he's not a great thinker. So just point him to the plate and let him play. Early in the year, he just got caught up thinking about it and trying to do too much. And now that he's relaxed and playing, and he's probably one of the more enjoyable kids to coach. He's always in a great mood, but he runs out there and just, if he just relaxes and let the game comes to him, he's really good. And you're seeing that right now. And then he just seems to be, some kids have that about him in the postseason. They're postseason players.
Go ahead and get it here to the front with Logan to Coach's left.
You had 4 signees drafted the other day. 3 of them have already said they're probably going pro. Have you talked to Andre at all? Have you had any conversations with him?
We've had some conversations, so we've gone back and forth a little bit, just kind of trying to, this is a wait and see process, so we're just trying to wait and figure it out and see where we're at. We feel like we did a pretty good job getting through the draft. We have some really good, talented players coming, but we're still waiting to hear from a couple of guys.
Go ahead, Steve.
Coach, in the last few starts, you're paid plumley. He's one on the road at College Station, one on the road at Ole Miss, and then comes in here and wins an NCAA regional clinching game. How important is it to have a guy with that level of experience on the mound at times like these?
It's been a big push this last month. I mean, he's pitched really well. I thought he was awesome last week. That lineup for Miami made me a little nervous. So some big hitters, and they were just on fire. Balls jumping out of the park, and then Peyton Crane came out and they hit the ball into the dirt all night long. We were able to fill a lot of ground balls. But it's a big push for us right now, and I think having a senior who's been around the block and goes out there and just competes is huge for us.
We'll get it back to the front left here with Ben.
Coach, you mentioned obviously Miami had a lot of home run hitters on that lineup. I mean, does that help simulate a little bit of what Stanford's bringing in?
Yeah, it's pretty similar in some ways. The difference is it's rights and lefts. It seemed like Miami had a lot of lefts. Stanford has a lot of rights, so hopefully the wind's blowing in from left and out to right maybe is what we need. But they're very similar, but we just got to make our pitches. I feel like if our pitchers make our pitches, we'll be fine.
I think you guys only lost 2 SEC series all year. What's it like, or what's the message to the team? Obviously you want to win all those series, and how much does that help in a situation like this week where it's 2 out of 3, you advance here to the College World Series?
I've said this every week, and I say it to our kids, and they get bored hearing it, and y'all probably get bored hearing it too. Our message has been so focused on them, and I say it confidently because I feel like we have a really good team. It's about us. And so if we prepare, if we play the game the right way, if we show up and do what we're supposed to do, we usually win. And Stanford's a really good team, but I just don't, it's about tomorrow's game. I think it would be 50 for us. And so it's a big piece of them just going out there and playing the game as well as they can play it. And if we lose, then we lose. But I can go to bed at night knowing we did everything for our ball club. And so we have been really focused on just us lately, and probably since Arkansas. So I think that's really been our message, and they've played really well. They played well before Arkansas too, but they don't. You heard it from me. Our kids, unfortunately, they're more worried about going and catching a fish today than what Stanford's lineup. I don't mean that in disrespect to Stanford, but these kids don't think like that, so they're ready to play.
Go to the back of the cameras with Tom.
Going off that same thing, Ethan mentioned on Wednesday, he also said today that he really hasn't looked at Stanford's lineup. Is that normal, or is it just about trusting
yourself? It's normal.
Yourself?
It's nothing against Stanford. It's just normal, and he'll come in and do it tomorrow. He'll do some prep work tomorrow, but he doesn't fret all week about the opponent. He's more about getting himself ready to pitch and do, and then mentally before the game he'll start to figure out, hey, I got so many rights, so many lefts. hey, there's runners here, there's power here. I mean, he'll take the time to sit down and do that, but that's how a lot of and we do it game day. I have a hard time getting to a meeting talking to our team sometimes, so they don't stay focused on me too long. The same thing with scout reports. We do it, a couple hours prior, lock into it. But we go back to, hey man, it's about us. Let's do things the right way and play the game the right way.
Anything else for Coach before we let him get out of here? We'll go back to the cameras again and Tom.
You mentioned in your opening statement about the weather, but is it, obviously with all the scenarios going on, with if the game goes on, if it gets postponed, is it ever a thought of, this could be a one-game series?
I don't think that ever happens. I mean, it was supposed to rain all day today, and we just had a beautiful practice. So I have a hard enough time coaching. So I leave, and the good thing about stuff like this is everybody else is in charge of it. Just tell us when to be there, and we'll be there, be ready to play, and give our fans about an hour, and they'll be there too. So we just need a gap in time to be able to play. Both teams, the NCAA will do a great job of getting us set up to play. Pretty much just, I told our team, we could have some rain, it could stop, it could move a start time, but just prepare yourself to be ready to go. And we can't control it. We know it's one of those things, and it's probably all across the country right now. I think a lot of people are dealing with it.
Got time for a couple more? Anybody else have anything before we let Coach go? All right, thank you, Coach.